give Mr. Dwayne Bennett a hand.
Good morning. I want to start off by saying, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit more about myself as we go along. You have a great leader, Mr. Bob. He's been working with me to ensure that I bring you the information to give you some unique insights into some areas to make this a real great program for you. He's been working on it. I mean, we've at least 5 or 6 months to make sure that everything works for you. He made sure that you got some great donuts out here this morning. You know, it's a biggie, the coffee and other things. So I just wanted to acknowledge him and recognize him and give him a round of applause for the job doing for you all. And he really has the best interest of you in mind. He cares about you, he talks about you, and he really wants this to be one of the premier organizations, not only within the Richmond and firefighters, but also within the city. So he really loves what he's doing. He really loves you all. And I just wanted to express that to you all because he's so humble. You know, he's kind of laid back. He's not going to say that. So I'm saying this for you. He really loves you. He really cares about what you're doing. And he's always open. He's been open for me. He's been accessible. And I've been learning some things from him as we go along. So I really just wanted to take the time to acknowledge him. And I just want to thank you for bringing me in to these great and wonderful people. All right? How we doing?
Doing well.
All right, before we get started, one thing I always like to do, I like to make sure that everyone's comfortable and everyone have a proper greeting, okay? So I got a fun way for us to greet each other. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, I'm going to say a few things and I want you to turn to your neighbor and repeat after me what I say. I want you to say it to your neighbor. You with me? Yep. Yeah, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
In this messed up, crazy world. But sometimes, down is up, and up is down. There's one thing you'll never have to worry about. You'll never ever look as good as me. Slap your neighbor a high five and say, it's true. All right. Oh, this is great. As we go along this morning, as you can see up top, and I already know this is, you know, we want to have some fun. All right. Today you could have been a lot of other places today. You could have been doing a lot of other things. But within the message, within the information, we want to have some fun also. And I can see that we already started off on a great note. Now, not to make this too teachy, too professor-like, too deep, I have a couple of note sheets I want to give you just in case you may want to take a few notes about what we're talking about today, and I'll tell you a little bit about our topics in a second. So I'm going to pass a note sheet around. It's just an open sheet that has some information on it that says, hey, some thoughts and some ideas to remember if you need that, and just to kind of focus in on and separate it out from your other notes. And I have my trusty assistant here. She's going to give her a round of applause, Zena, right? She's going to help me out. Pass these out for me, and it's no big deal, but just something just in case you want to write a few notes on. We are going to have that. Also, I just want to make sure now, you sitting in front of these placards, you're not the human resources guy, are you?
No.
And you're not the general counsel, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay, all right. He is, okay. Be careful about this guy over here, right? You gotta be careful about him, but I just want to make sure I would call you out by these placards here. And if you get an opportunity, if you say something to me or you say something to the group, just say your name so that we'll kind of get a little familiar with each other. Is that okay? Okay, now, I have one rule, if you will, or one idea, or one thing that I think it kind of brings, I want to bring the group together and zero in on it. And the idea is this. We all came in this door. And my job, one of the things I like to do is to make sure we're all a little better when we leave this door than when we came in. That's the rule I have. And I said I want us to all be better when we leave than when we came in. Just a little bit, right? Now, how are you all going to get better? From something I teach, from comprehending, from each other, listening, maybe share an idea, or something you had to lift up a point that I say it's okay. We just ask that you kind of get in and out of it because we are on time. So it's okay if you have some thoughts and some ideas to add. Now, how am I going to get better?
Feedback from us.
Feedback from you all, and we'll do that at the end. And I'm also going to be listening to you. So it's a back and forth thing. It's not just all about what I have to say. It's not always what I have to present, but it's probably most of that, right? But it's got some of the things that we can help each other out as we move along. All right. Now, I understand we're from different departments, different branches, different places. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, let's just take a moment to try to get to know each other a little bit. And we're going to do this by this activity I call I've done something you haven't done. I've done something you haven't done. And this is what I want to ask you to do. Try to think of something that you've done that nobody else in this room have done. Or think of something that's unique about yourself that you'd like to share. Or think about if you never got the recognition for the award, for this position or whatever, you can share that. Because it doesn't matter what you say, we're going to give you appreciation anyway, all right? So it's time for your 15 minutes of fame. So think about something that you've done that no one else has done in this room. And before you share it, tell us your name and we'll look at you and maybe we can get a little familiar with each other and get to know each other a little more. What am I talking about? Let me give you an example. We had a young lady probably about 2 weeks ago, and we did the activity. She got up, and you don't have to be this dramatic about it. She started doing this and walking a little gingerly. And what she said was, I just came from the big island, Hawaii, and I'm walking on a hot, active volcano. Where are my volcano walkers? Volcano walkers.
I lived in a volcano. Then.
She lived in a volcano. We gotta count that up, right? Wow! And lived to tell it.
Well, not literally, but I did. I really did. I don't know why too.
Tell us your name and tell us about it.
All right. I think everybody people know me. My name is Lazina. I work at 200. I work here in this area. And I just said I didn't actually live in a volcano, but my husband was stationed in Hawaii, and we lived in a place called Red Hill, which was a dead volcano that they actually made Schofield Barracks. That's where the military, people live. So I didn't really live in the one, but it was dead. But I walked it many days. So I consider that walking on a volcano.
All right, volcano walker. She's got something to be there. Walker, semi, lived in, sort of, kind of. I was near a volcano, right? Anybody else want to share anything? I've done something you haven't done.
I have something that a lot of people haven't done here.
Okay. Turn around and tell us your name, and tell us what you done.
Not too much I gotta go a little slow. I'm working on my 4th retirement. I have retired 3 times.
Clap it up. Clap it up. That's it. You want to sit down. I don't think anybody did for retirement. All right. We got some competition.
Who said that?
How many you have?
I haven't retired yet. I'm at 3 and I just gotta wait for this. If I ever leave here, except in a box, it's gotta be 4.
Okay, 5 space players. We got 3 in a possible, right? 3 in a possible. Do they say that in the Midwest too? Yeah. I don't know. All right. What's your name?
June.
June. Clap it up for June. I just was cutting you off. Is that what you wanted to say? Is that what you wanted to say for retirements?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I think we're supposed to clap, right? Got no confusion there. Y'all probably got to understand it a little more, but I think we're supposed to clap, all right? Anybody like to share? I've done something you haven't done.
I think I've done something I haven't done. Y'all haven't done. I participated in the Disney College program and worked at Disney for 6 months.
Disney. Oh. Shannon. I've done something you haven't done. I've done something you haven't done. Anyone else like to share? Okay, and we'll get another opportunity again to introduce yourself if you'd like to expand on that as we move along throughout our presentation this morning. Now, it was 3 things that Mr. Garland, he said he wanted to kind of hit upon or some ideas, and he wanted to kind of go back to the basics and just make sure we got a few foundational things in terms of the things we want to do. And I lifted those 3 things up in the areas of customer service, and specifically leadership, because I'm a leadership expert. I look at things through the lens of leadership. And then we all know is the power of connection that makes all these things work. So if you didn't have an opportunity to take a look at the slide, what you'll see is one of the, he's probably the #1 leadership expert in the world, John Maxwell, and I'm a member of his team. This is what he said about the areas of the things we want to talk about this morning. I'm convinced more than ever that good communication and leadership, we're going to talk about a little bit of both of those, are all about connecting. And we're going to end up talking about connecting. If you can connect with others, your relationships are stronger, and we have a combined credit union, so we want to make that, our relationship strong in that area. Your sense of community improves. We are there for the community. Your ability to create teamwork increases. We have to work together as a team, and your influence increases. And one of the definitions of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. We want to come back to that. And at the end of the day, this is what everyone likes to see. Your productivity skyrockets. So we do our jobs, if we present ourselves well in the areas of customer service and leadership, and then we all connect, then this particular union can grow, it become bigger, and become some of the things that we wanted to be if it hadn't got there yet. So we're on our way, so we want to lift up a couple of ideas in those areas this morning to kind of help us as we move along. Is that okay?
Yes, it's good.
And I want to share with you, I was it was September 29th, matter of fact. September 29th, I was down at the Federal Reserve building. They called me in to speak and do some things on communication. But about 2 hours before that, I was preparing in my office and I was ready to leave, but I knew my daughter was in the house with me. And my daughter turned 21 in August. Who can identify? She turned 21 in August, and you know what I'm going to say. She became an adult overnight. She just was an adult. And she decided, and she's been telling us, I turned 21, I'm going to make my own decisions, I'm going to do what I want to do, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do this, while she's eating my bowl of cereal, right? So she turned 21, and, I mean, really, it was almost like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. And, that next day, she started, to act a little different. We could tell a little shift in her, and then she was driving, and wasn't coming in like she used to, and would never tell us, things that she was doing, all those kind of things. That she was making decisions, but she was making some bad decisions. And then one of the bad decisions that she made was she got a ticket and she got another ticket, and I took her to court and went and talked to the prosecutor with her, and they gave her driving school, and I was excited, because my insurance was gonna stay down now, and then, come to find out in 4 months she didn't go to driving school, so she had lost her license, she got another ticket, and then she was kind of all over the place, and we didn't know who she was kind of meeting anymore. And I was getting ready for this presentation, but it kind of weighed on me that she was in there, and I was concerned about her, so I called her in my office. Even though I was getting ready, I called her in my office and I sat her down. I said, Brittany, I said, you became an adult by age, but not by your actions. And your actions haven't changed to go along with your age. And I was talking to Brittany, and then I said, the thing that disturbs me and the things that disturbs your mother is, now we can't find you. And she said, what do you mean you can't find you? I said, Brittany, we're looking for you emotionally, we're looking for you mentally, we're looking for you physically, we're looking for you socially, and we can't find you. And the reason we can't find you is because you don't give us the information we need to help you. You don't always tell us the truth. You don't always do the things you do. So when I was trying to talk to her, it dawned on me what I was trying to do. I was trying to connect with Brittany in these 4 areas: emotionally, physically, mentally, socially. And when I think about connecting, and when I think about customer service, that's what we need to think about when we're working with our customers. We have to find a way to communicate, to connect with them on these 4 levels: mentally, emotionally, socially, as we have interactions with them. What do I mean with that? If you answer the phone, right, you gotta listen sometimes and find out where that person is. Now, we know who's working in customer service. A lot of times, when you pick up the phone, what you hear? Yeah! A lot of screaming, a lot of hollering sometimes, because people have problems and challenges. At that time, what we should be listening for is what's going on with this person in these particular areas. What's going on with this person emotionally? What's going on with this person socially? Where they are physically? Where they are mentally? And if we can walk through those things in our mind as we talk to this person that's on the line of customer service, as I talk to Brittany to make that connection, then we can help them out and take them to another level. So the person's calling because perhaps the loans didn't go through at the time they need to. That's the mental thing. That's what's going on with them mentally. This is the thing I can help them with. How can I help them finish out the loan paperwork? How can I get them there faster? And that's going to cause them to be what? Emotional. So we have to understand when we're dealing with money and we're dealing with trying to get things done, it's always emotion. We always try to separate that. So we got to understand they're probably going to be upset, right? They're probably going to be maybe even a little mean. They're probably going to be not listening to me until I get an opportunity to listen to them. So I'm on the phone, I'm working through them with them emotionally. And physically, where they are physically, they could have some problems physically with them or where they are. If they calling from work or they're in the car, we can't hear them. Kind of say, okay, let me understand of that situation. So as we walk through our customer service area, always think about trying to connect with our customers in what? These 3 or 4 areas. So now this is a happy customer. And if it's a happy customer, what do you think they may do?
Come back.
Come back.
First one else.
Tell somebody else, right? Don't we want referrals?
Yes, we do.
Don't we get these numbers up, right?
Yep.
And this is how we can help do it. And as leaders and as members in different areas, these are some of the things that we can do personally, but we also can spread them along the way for people in our department, on our level, higher than our level, or even on the next level when we're talking about the area of customer service. And it's no bigger area now than we know is in the customer service. Does anyone have an Amazon account? All right. Has anyone heard of Zappos? Anyone heard of Walmart? You know why all these people are number one? Because I had I'm going to date myself. I had a typewriter and it had ribbon in it, a typewriter with ribbon. Nobody even know anything about typewriters anymore. Right? I just lost myself now. A typewriter? What are you talking about? I had a typewriter, and this probably was about 10 years ago, and it had ribbon in it. And when I first got the ribbon, I remember it didn't fit. So I took the ribbon, I put it in the bag, and I put the receipt in there, and I put it to the side. And I forgot about it, and I just went and got another one because I couldn't find it. Then when I moved, about 5 years later, I felt that typewriter ribbon, and I found the receipt, and it was from Walmart. I grabbed that bag, and I went to Walmart and gave it to them, and they gave me my money back. 5 years later of a ribbon that they couldn't even use. Is that good customer service? Yeah. And they didn't have to go through, all of sometimes talking to me, asking me questions, all of that to find the 4 areas of connections. They knew that, hey, if we give him his money back, he's going to feel better, and more likely than not, since we're making him put it on a card, he's going to have to spend the money back with us. That's the type of customer service that helps accelerate progress in organizations, take organizations to the next level. And that's some of the things that we can do within our credit union. And also recognize, as we go along, when a person or organization presents good customer service to us, let's note it. Okay, what did they do different? What did they do to help me solve my problem quickly or satisfy me? And bring back some of those things. We're talking about connection, we're talking about sharing, and share it with the group. Or we have opportunities like today to share it. Because we don't want to hoard it. We don't want to keep it inside because it doesn't help anyone. So we're going to share that information just like we're sharing things today. So when we talk about customer service, when we talk about connecting, always think about the mentality of the person, think about where they are physically, think about socially, who they're connecting with, who they are talking to, who they can influence, and we also want to talk about their emotions. So that's our first concept I want to lift up in terms of customer service this morning. Now, the other thing I want to transition to is this. And this is not a trick question. I'm going to ask you a question. It's not a trick question. And, you answer accordingly. If you are a leader, let me see you raise your hand. All the leaders raise their hand. Okay. Now, this is the thing. This is what I'm seeing. If everybody can't see it. I'm seeing this and that. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing, you're not talking to me, right? But then I see some of this. This is the key. We're all leaders. If we're in this room, we're a leader. And this concept of the 360-degree leader, I want to share some things with you about that. Today. A 360-degree leader, and a 360-degree leader says this: it doesn't matter where you are in the organization. You can provide leadership to yourself. You can provide leadership to others, or you can provide leadership to those on another level higher than you. That's the 360-degree leader. But in order for you to be able to do that, you have to see yourself as being what? A leader. And we all are. And let me tell you a myth about leadership. This is a myth about leadership that people, most of us will agree with, and most of us see. Every person that we call, quote unquote, in a leadership position, they're not a great leader. They may have happened to excel in a specific specialized skill, but that doesn't make them a great leader. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And it's kind of real easy to see it from this example. Has anyone heard of IT? All right, the technology person. We all need the IT man sometimes, right? What happens in the IT area, the person that can figure out the problem, that can solve the problem the fastest, they usually become what? They usually become the manager. So they're the manager of the IT department. Now it's not based on what? It's not based on communication. It's not based on leadership. It's not based on the ability to connect with others. It's not based on any knowledge. It's just based on the fact that they're the one that can solve the problem the quickest, the fastest. But that doesn't make them a great leader. So sometimes when we feel that a person is in a leadership position, that makes them a great leader, but there's always room to improve. If that's true, then the opposite is also true. That a person that may not be in a leadership position, then they can be what? A great leader. So when we talk about the 360-degree leader, I want you to start, as we continue our conversation today, as we talk through some things today, start to see yourself as a leader. If you don't see yourself that way, and if you are a leader, how can I pick up on a couple of things that can improve my leadership ability? So as we move into this leadership area, I just want to tell you a few things about myself. One of the questions that comes up a lot of times when we have Q&A, and I don't know if we have an opportunity to do that today, is, are leaders born? Are leaders born? And when you think about it, it's a funny question, right? Because we're all born, right? So what's the answer? Are leaders born? The answer is yes. But what they're really asking, say it in another way, are there natural born leaders? Do some people have innate qualities? Do some people have some things within them? Or some people are born with some things that make them good leaders? And my answer would be yes. And I just happen to be one of those people. And the reason I say I can say I probably can fit into the category of a natural born leader is because I've been told I'm a natural born leader. But as I look back over my life, even as I was having a conversation with the gentleman this morning, from middle school, even in high school, and I remember one specific example. And I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I went to Thompson Middle School. Anybody heard of Thompson Middle School? Went to Thompson Middle School, and then I went to George Webb High School. And after midway through the semester in my freshman year, the principal called me to the office. And I'm nervous, right? Principal called me to the office is usually not a good thing. He called me to the office, and he said that the principal from Thompson wants you to come back and talk to the students about doing good in school, being successful, and getting ready for high school. And I'm like, I'm just getting here, you know what I'm going to talk about. So I went and I put together some thoughts, and I had a conversation with the, at that time, the 8th graders, and it went well. And when I think about back from that, then the principal at my middle school, what did he do? He recognized that I had some leadership abilities, some skills, and some communication that could be used to help his middle schoolers that were still there, and I had moved to high school. And then even in high school, you know, I was member of the student band director, most likely to succeed, National Honor Society, top of the class, all those things. And I'm not saying all those things to be impressive, but it happened through college and after school. I'm not saying those things to be impressive, but to impress upon you, yeah, there's some natural leadership ability in me, there's natural ability in all of us, but we still can, if we're natural born leaders, become better leaders by incorporating some of the things that we're talking about today. Fair enough? So this concept of natural born leaders, yeah, but we have to get better at time. And I've taken the certification courses. I'm a certified coach and trainer with the John Maxwell Company. I have a Jewish doctor, which is a law degree. I have a Bachelor of Science from Virginia Tech. Those kind of things to say, hey, I didn't stop at the 9th grade thing and I was all of that, right? I went on and got a diploma and I did some additional training and we got there. So some of the things we talked about, I come from my own experience, and some of the things that I'm talking about we got from my training, my ability through Maxwell, those kind of things. So I just want to kind of give you an idea of where my center is, where I'm coming from with the information, and as we share the stories as we come along. So, leader, 3 different aspects. 1, you have to lead yourself. Okay? 2, I'm a leader too of others. 3, and I'm a leader of leaders. Lead self, lead others, leader of leaders. And when I'm talking about a leader of self, this is the one sometimes is a little hard for people to grasp because they're like, I have to lead myself. Yes, you have to lead yourself. I'll give you an example. Did the alarm go off this morning? Who had to get up? Me. I had to get myself out of the bed, right? I had to do the same thing. I had to get myself out of the bed, I had to do all the things I get here, be on, be on time and do things I had to do. But that's the basic and fundamental. But in our vocations, in our occupations, in our positions in the community, we have to get what? Certain skills. We have to take classes. We may have to learn certain things for ourselves in order that we can get better. That's what personal development is all about. We're leading ourselves from where we are to where we need to be. And we have to lead ourselves from it. One of the great motivational speakers and leaders of our time, thought leaders by the name of Jim Rohn, he said, no one can do your push-ups for you. Right? I mean, if you want to get bigger, if you want to grow in a physical way, right? Zeno can't do the push-ups for Mr. God. He has to do his own if he wants to get bigger. Not that he need to get bigger, right? But he has to do his own. All right? Okay? So when you want to get better in the area of personal development, in the personal leadership area, then you have to take it upon yourself to lead yourself in the areas and the things to get better. And one of the things I want to always think about when I'm speaking, or I want you to think about when you're interacting with each other, or when we talk about interacting with customers, or when interacting with other people, is never forget the power of your state. Never forget the power of your state. What are you talking about? I'm glad you asked that question, Mr. Bennett. When I'm talking about the power of your state, that's usually when we talk about in the area of peak performance. Are you at peak performance in all the areas of your life? Are you in a peak performance state when we're talking about your physical abilities? Are you in a peak performance state when we talk about your medical abilities and things of that nature? So don't forget the power of your state. And when you're meeting others, when you're meeting customers, when you're meeting other people within your unit or within your section, or when you're meeting other leaders, always try to match their state or be higher, because in that way you're going to make a greater connection, because you're bringing energy, you're bringing enthusiasm, you're bringing that knowledge, and they want to go connect with you. And let me give you an example when I'm talking about in terms of you can't ignore the power of your state. Remember I mentioned I was at the Federal Reserve on the 29th. I was getting ready for that when I started talking to Brittany. When I got there, they told me, they said, Mr. Bennett, we're going to introduce you using a flash mob. You're going to introduce me using a flash mob. I had no idea what they were talking about. And let me just take a pause, just make sure we're on the same page. Flash mob is this. It used to be a little more popular a couple of years ago. Is that, you might be at the mall or somewhere, and all of a sudden 25 people get up and they start dancing to the music. All right, that's a flash mob. You might be at work sometimes, and all of a sudden you're in the cafeteria, and people get up, they start dancing, putting a routine together. Everybody moving with a flash mob? So what they said they were going to do was, when the vice president gets up to announce you, or get up to introduce you, she's going to start with an introduction, but before she introduces you, she's going to say 1, 2, 3. And when she says 1, 2, 3, 20 people out of the 75 are going to get up from their seats. They're going to come up to the front. The music, Uptown Funk, is going to start playing. They're going to put on glasses, and they're going to start doing a flash mob. I said, okay, that's interesting, right? So they did that. And then the music's going Uptown Funk. Everybody knows what Uptown Funk is, right? Up in this height, no. All right? I mean, something like that, all right? Bruno Mars, all right? So they doing the flash mob, right? Don't forget the power of your state. They doing the flash mob, so I got to try to meet their state because I got to come on and I have to speak afterwards, right? So if they're way up there, I'm like, how can I meet them there? So while they're doing the flash mob and stuff over there, what I'm doing? I'm dancing over here in the corner, right? And I'm listening to them, and I'm feeling them, I'm seeing where they are because I know I have to meet them because I come on after them. So then when she finished, she said, now that you're all tired and worn out, Mr. Dwayne Bennett is going to come on and he's going to take the rest of your breath away. I was like, okay, all right. So when I came on, I had to do what? Don't forget the power of your state. I had to meet them where they are because if I came in after all of that flash mob, all the music, all the flashes, it came on. Hey, my name is Dwayne Bennett. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk to you today about everyone communicates if you connect. I'm losing you now. So what I had to do, I had to meet them on a high level. So when I met them on a high level, we talked about the flash mob a little bit, but I knew I couldn't sustain that level. So what I did was I kind of switched my program around and I brought it down to where I was going to make a presentation at the end where people get gifts, and it's always good when people get gifts. So I did the presentation early, right? So kind of brought it down a little bit, and then we had an activity I was going to do in the middle, then I switched that and I brought it down again. So now that I could meet them on an even state or a higher state, so now they can receive from me. Does that make sense? So the same thing with you. As you're a leader, when you're meeting others, if you want others to receive from you, want to connect with them, you always have to remember your state and getting ready for your state. You got to do that in advance. Take care of yourself. Do some reading, find out some background information on the organization, like I did, and then you can meet someone where they are, and then you can have what? Some influence on them. Because we said leadership is what? Influence, nothing more, nothing less. We lead ourselves first. Secondly, we lead others. 360-degree leader. Even though we're in the same unit, we're on the same level, sometimes I may have a great idea. Has anyone ever did that? Got a great idea you want to share with your unit, but you're on the same level. But you're not the leader. As we said, you're not the supervisor. How do I do that? Let me tell you how? Well, say yes. Let me tell you how?
Yeah. Yes.
You just do it. You just do it. Because sometimes being a leader is it's about the confidence that you have. And you'd be surprised if you step out of your comfort zone sometimes, if you step away from the norm, if you just be a little out of the box sometimes with your thinking, you'll be surprised at the reception that you receive. Even from the members of your own unit, even from the members of your own department. And you may have to start sharing some information with them even before we're ready to take it to the next level. Now you're being a leader of others. And then if you happen to be a supervisor, of course you're going to be a leader of others. You're going to lead the information. You're going to lead the other members on your team from whatever the policies are, whatever procedures are. You're going to guide them along those ways. However, you have to be the example. We ever heard this term? Let me see if I can get it right. Do as I say, not as I do. Has everybody heard that? And who do we tell that to? Be honest with me. Do you think they listen? But they probably listen more, or even though I say listen more, but they probably follow you more from what you're doing, what you say you should do. Okay, being the example. Okay, not necessarily telling them to do the things, but you're actually showing or illustrating the things. Number 2.
Actions speak louder than words, right?
Action speaks louder than words. Exactly. So now we're talking about being what? Leaders of others. Within our units, within the credit union, within the level we are, we can do that. And then even if we're a supervisor, if we're a manager, then we're going to lead other people within our unit. This is how we do it. We step out. And this is the highest level of leadership, and we all can, we can all do these things. The 360-degree leader. It's just not just for me, it's just not just for the designated manager. And remember we told you all managers, all supervisors, they're not good leaders, are they? Now we're talking about leaders of leaders. And we're talking about if you're on a supervisory level, if you're on a level where you have to deal with, we'll say, upper management from your level up, then sometimes we get a little nervous. Sometimes we like, these guys are not going to listen to me. Sometimes we're thinking that the ideas that we have are a little too radical. But again, we have to deal with the confidence because we all bring things that's uniquely to us to the table. We all have gifts. We all have great things within us. We all have the skills. We all have the ability. So what we have to do is to use the things that we have and talk to our upper level manager in a meaningful way. Because I'm sure if I ask everyone in this room to raise their hand and say, have you ever had a great idea that you wanted to take up and you didn't take it up? You wanted to share with your manager, you didn't share it up, or your supervisor? Anybody have experienced that? The thing is, probably that great idea, they probably were waiting for it. Now you know your managerial style or who you're dealing with up top. You can't just bust into that room. What's your name? Eddie. Eddie, you knew Eddie. No, you just can't bust into that room and say, I got this good idea, let's do it. And you say, well, take your good idea and right? We talked about the power of our state, finding out where this person is, where this manager is socially, finding out where he is emotionally, finding out where he is physically, finding out where he is at a particular time. And as we find out where he is, then we connect to where that upper level manager is. And once we connect to where he is, when we find where he is, and Stephen Covey, one of the great thought leaders at the time, he said, first seek to understand, right? Then to be understood. First seek to understand, then to be understood. And if Eddie approaches his upper level manager in a right way, in a respectful way, in a way that I'm prepared, in a way from knowledge, in a way from the knowledge that he's gained, and then connecting with him where he is, you think you have a greater chance or worse chance of getting his point across?
Greater.
A greater chance. And just jump in, remember the example I gave, just coming into the office and slamming on the desk, this is the idea, let's do it. Make sense?
Makes sense.
We doing all right? Now, we're talking about the 360-degree leader. We lead ourselves. Who else do we lead? Others. And who else do we lead? We lead leaders. Now, what I'm going to do is, since we're in the area of leadership, I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you coming up what we call the law of navigation. And I'm going to tell you what that means in a minute. But now that we've kind of primed and we're focused on leadership, and we believe that we're all leaders, okay, everyone in this room is a leader. What I want you to do is to identify your leadership style. I want you to identify your leadership style. And I want you to share with us why this is your leadership style and how it helps you to be a good leader. All right, I want you to identify your leadership style, why you have that style, and how it helps you to be a good leader, okay? Now, the reason I want you to share that with the group because the information that you give is going to help all of us. And if you remember, we're all going to be a little better when we leave, right? All right? Now, this is, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. He's like, oh, leadership style, I don't know what leadership style is. I don't know, you know, what he wants me to say. I don't know how I'm going to come up with this. I'm glad you're thinking that, all right? Because I'm going to make it very, very easy for you to identify your leadership style and share it with us. And we're going to do this by looking at some shoes. Looking at some shoes. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold up these pictures of these shoes. All right? Now you pick the shoes, not the shoes that you like, ladies. All right? You pick the shoes that matches your leadership style. And once you pick the shoes that matches your leadership style, then you'll tell us why you picked those, how to make you a good leader. That's going to help us all out. You with me? Now I'm going to go through all of the shoes, all of them one time through, and then the second time I'm going to ask who picked this particular shoe, tell us why, and their style. All right, everybody's with me? And here we go. The first time I'm going to show you all the shoes, then you pick the one that you think that fits your leadership style. These are Air Jordans, sneakers, basketball shoes. All right? You in agreement with that? All right. These are dress shoes. Who said floor shine? You from Richmond, aren't you? Broad Street, right? Yeah. All right. Dress shoes, floor shines. I'm in agreement. All right. These are flip-flops, casual, all right. Now what we're thinking is, I'm looking for the ones that fit my leadership style, okay? These are running shoes. All right. These are
Cowboy boots.
cowboy boots. At least they're boots, right? Cowboy boots. There's some nice ones. Got to find out where they have it. All right. These are.
High heels.
Gentlemen, be careful. We don't want to start anything this morning. All right. All right. These are
Work boots. Work boots.
work boots, Timberlands, and yeah, sure these ones too. What are these?
Bedroom slipper.
Slippers. Got little house shoes. All right. And the reason I got so many is because I'm hoping that everyone can at least identify with one. And look at these ones. There's always a debate. What do you call these?
The water shoes.
Water shoes. Running shoes. People call them toe shoes. 5 fingers and all those kind of things. Okay. People do pick those. And I think everybody knows what these are. People have a lot of people. Is a lot of variation on these ones today. These are the Birkenstocks. There's a lot of different kind of Birkenstocks now. You see them in all the different colors now, and you see some other things around. All right. You never know. Okay. Now, what are we doing? We're looking at our leadership style. We're going to share some things with each other. It's going to probably bring us to the end of the segment. We're going to share some things with each other as to why we pick these particular shoes, how that fits our leadership style, and how that makes us a good leader. All right, we ready? So when I go through them, raise your hand if you'd like to share. Well, first of all, just raise your hand anyway if you think the shoe fits your leadership style. And then if 1 or 2 people want to comment as to why they picked those particular shoes, we'll do it that way, okay? So everyone doesn't have to say anything, but the ones that would like to share, that's going to be very, very helpful to the group. Is that okay? Okay. Anybody pick these? Okay. Look around. We got a couple people to pick those. Now, anyone want to share why they picked these as their leadership style?
Makes me think of teamwork.
Makes them think of teamwork. Leaders have to be team players and direct the team. Great job. Give them a round of applause for that. All right. Make sure we encourage everyone. And I always stop to do this because if you Google public speaking, you know what you're going to find? You're going to find that people would rather die than speak in public. And I'm still trying to figure that one out, right? They'd rather die than speak in public. So I always encourage people, and we like to encourage people as they go. Anyone else like to comment on these? Yes, ma'am.
Look at it as a coach.
Okay.
You like to bring the team that he's talking about along.
Okay, like a coach. It always takes a good coach to help bring the team along and pick out some things maybe that they're doing well, or maybe some things they're not doing well, and kind of help them with that. Great job. You want to let her know? Anyone else like to share?
I think of flexibility. You be flexible.
Gotta be flexible.
More so than the other.
Okay, all right, gotta be flexible. You just can't be stoic, and it just can't be my way or the highway as a leader, right?
Right.
Right? I think that's a great observation. Great job. Anyone else like to comment?
Motivator.
Gotta be a motivator as a leader, okay? And I hope you're listening because these ideas are coming out, these are great ideas, and we can incorporate those from the standpoint of 360-degree leader or wherever we are in our organization.
I see it as a winner.
He's a winner. All right, it's a winner, right? Because at George, he's a winner, all right? And leaders are winners. That's awesome, all right? Okay, great job. All right, I'm going to shift. Anybody pick these?
Floor showers.
We have one person pick the dress shoes. Did you want to say anything about why you picking them? How this is your style?
Because that's what he's wearing right now.
Now the rules is not to pick the ones you like, right?
Kind of wild picture, but
At least he admits it.
well, influential. I always say that everybody got something in life because of somebody else. So to me, that's like you're trying to influence somebody to do something. So you dress the part. Hopefully, if you're wearing those shoes, you are dressing the part. And you're trying to influence others to be greater than what they presently are.
Wow. Give him a round of applause. And the thing you mentioned that I was always brought up and taught on, you always dress the part of what you want to be. Not who you are, but who you want to be. And I think that's in there with the influence. Great job. All right. Anyone pick these? Is their leadership style? All right. Anybody wants to share?
Laid back.
Laid back? Okay, you agree he's a laid back leader? He's effective too, right? All right. Anybody else? You like to share?
I think sometimes it's easier to connect with, I think of relaxation and comfortable, and I think it's easier to connect with people when they're more comfortable rather than when they're stressed out. If you can bring everybody to a more of a laid back feeling, then you can connect a little easier. You're not trying to fight the emotional state.
Wow, is that good? Let them know. Awesome. Anyone else pick? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I picked it too, and I tend to be a little out there headstrong sometimes, so I think for me, I try to be more casual and laid back. And then in the police department, there's a lot of order to do this, order to do that, and I kind of try to take a more casual approach and convince the people under me that it's good to do A and B, and if you convince them to do A and B, maybe they'll notice C and D needs to be done also, and they'll knock those out while they're in there. So you kind of get some buy-in, and then the casual thing and not ordering somebody to do something sometimes works.
Is that awesome? A round of applause. And one of the things I want to point out that he said, he recognizes, and I think we have to do this in reflection, and I have this later on, and maybe we'll talk about it a little later. He recognizes that he may be a little high strung. So in order to be a good leader, he's saying, I need to kind of bring it back a little bit. And that's why we're sharing these ideas, because you can incorporate some things from other people as we move along. All right, let's see where we are. Did I show you these yet? Anybody pick these? Did I show these?
You haven't shown it.
I already showed them.
No.
Not yet, not in this section. Okay, here we go. Sneakers. Yes, sir, you want to share?
Functional, flexible, that's kind of a little bit laid back, not as laid back as the flip-flops, but a little bit laid back.
All right, so you have degrees as a leader. Not all the way laid back, but a little bit laid back, and then we got that flexibility in there, okay? So sometimes we have to go up, and sometimes we have to go down. We can't be always the same as a leader, right? Now, do we treat everybody the same?
No.
Okay, because a lot of times, sometimes the theory is, especially if I'm a supervisor, if I'm a manager, my high level, well, I treat everybody in my unit the same. Well, your unit probably not functioning well, right? Because you have to deal with people who we say, well, they are emotionally, socially, physically. Awesome, let them know. Did we let them know they did a great job? Anybody pick these?
Somebody here from Texas?
No urban cowboys in the room, huh?
No.
All right, keep it moving. All right, let me hold these up. I think I'm gonna get a lot of responsibility. You ready? You might pick these.
Come on, Mel.
My second choice.
This is the second choice.
That makes you stand tall.
Make him stand tall. You gotta stand tall as a leader. All right, he's connected, right?
He wears them on the
It
weekend.
gets attention.
He said these do get attention. He said it gets attention, all right? Anyone else?
Red's a power color.
Red's a power color. Okay, so from leadership perspective, there's some, the way you look, it matters, the colors that you put up from a leadership perspective. Anybody else pick these?
Moving on up.
Moving on up, right? You might be on one level, but we can go up to a higher level as a leader. That's awesome, all right? Give everybody a round of applause.
You got skills.
You said it again?
You can wear those, you got skills.
He said you can wear those, you got skills, right? Give everybody a round of applause. Yeah, it takes some skills, all right? Not that I know, I heard it takes skills. Make sure I get that square.
You're my friends.
Yeah, we don't judge here.
All right, thank you so much. All right. Anybody pick these? I got a couple people to pick these. You want to share anything about why you picked them?
Well, it kind of reminds me is lead by example. In other words, do what you, if you lead, if you're doing your job the way you should be doing it, then your other folks will follow you and do what they're supposed to do without you having to always be just telling them versus showing them that you are capable of doing the same thing you're asking them to do.
Exactly. So as these are work boots, you get in there and do the work with them instead of telling them to do the work. Great job. You want to let them know? Anyone else like to comment about these? I thought I saw a couple of hands up. You don't have to, but I just want to give an opportunity.
Basically the same thing.
Same thing. You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You got to remember where you came from. And you can't let your crew, let them know. I remember where I used to be, and I'm right there with you. And I can't ask them to do anything if I'm not willing to do it myself.
Exactly. So as you climb, as you go higher, you still got to think about, okay, when I was on this particular level, when I was doing certain things, the people that perhaps, I don't say left behind, but the people that are still on that level, they still have that mindset, they still have those things, and I need to incorporate that as I go along. Is that a good summary? Fantastic. Let them know. Anybody else want to say anything? All right. What about these?
Call and sit.
Let me see how to interpret that. So as a leader, sometimes you're not gonna always be ready to work, and if you're not ready to work, then call in sick.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right. And then it goes to that too, because remember I said you can't forget the power of your state? Sometimes, I mean, in real time, if you're not ready to work, if you're not ready to present, if you're not ready to be involved with people, it may be good to take a time out. It may be good to, sometimes if you got to be in your office, be like, hey, crew, or hey, give me some time, give me 10 or 15, 20 minutes to get myself together. Or if you're way in a low state or way in a point where you really can't, function properly on a high level, then it may be good to call in sick. So I think we got something, right?
Yeah.
All right. Give a round of applause. We got a few more, and I think we're ready to take our break. We got a couple more we'll wind up with. We got these. And anybody pick the, I think we say what, the water shoes, the toe shoes, or the running shoes? Nobody has this style? Kind of quirky, kind of unusual kind of style. All right. Innovative. As leaders. Nobody wants to hear the same stuff over and over and over, and that's why I'm applaud Mr. Gala for bringing me in, because he said that earlier. He wanted to give you something new, wanted to give you something special, wanted to give you a different perspective. So he's showing leadership qualities by doing what? By being innovative, maybe being a little different, maybe taking a risk of doing some different things. So as leaders, I think that that's great. Innovation is a good thing to see ourselves as leaders. Want to give Mr. Gala a round of applause? All right, this is our last one before we wrap. They are the Birkenstocks. Anybody pick the Birkenstocks? The gentleman in the back, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yes, sir. Kind of like the flip-flop is a laid-back, relaxed leadership style, but there's structure to it. And obviously there's plenty of breathing room there in the shoe, so the people that you're working with, that you're trying to lead, have plenty of autonomy to accomplish the task within the framework that they've been given.
Wow. Giving people autonomy, right? But the key is what? Within the framework, all right? Within the framework of what they're doing. So from a managerial perspective, or from a leadership perspective, we recognize that people don't want you breathing down their neck all the time. They don't want you, what's the term? Micromanaging them, if you will. And a lot of times that shuts down the innovation, that shuts down the creativity, that shuts a person down. And that one idea that you needed to take your department and take your unit to another level, it never comes out because you shut them down. You want to let them know they did a great job? That is awesome. How are we doing so far? You getting the information that you need? You getting a couple of new ideas? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a 10-minute break. Then when we get back, just let you know where we'll do a quick summary, a quick review. If we have any questions, we'll take care of those. We'll move a little furthermore in leadership, and then we'll do a little bit in connecting, and then I think we'll be done, all right? All right, get set, you're doing great, that's awesome. Anything we'd like to share about what we've heard so far? Yes, sir.
You demonstrated a whole lot of different styles today, and they all work in different ways. That's one thing I picked up on. There are a lot of good leadership styles, and they all work using different methods.
Exactly. So it's not one way to be a leader. Right. Okay. And the key, one of the keys, I think. What's your name, sir? Matt. What I think Matt is saying, if you don't mind me expand upon that, is you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. People want to see you as who you are, not trying to act like someone else, not trying to act like the old boss or the old leader. See yourself as being authentic, or show yourself as being authentic, and then people can relate to that. And it's easy to do. All right? It's like a lot of energy to be something that you're not, or someone that you're not, and to sustain that. And you may get back with for a little while, but you're going to slip. All right? So just be yourself, be comfortable within your style, and as Max said, a lot of different leadership styles can be effective, and we can learn from all of those. Great point. Any other thing anyone like to lift up?
Where can I get a pair of those high heels?
Go check it out. Ladies? Ladies? Somebody said DSW. All right. And when we're talking about the power of your state, I just heard this. I hope she don't mind me kind of putting her on display a little bit. I just heard you're 80.
Oh, June.
80 years old. She has mastered her state. 80 years old and still working every day. Still, and look, she's like, yes, like I don't see any stopping, right? And the reason I want to lift that point up, we can learn from each other, and she probably has some knowledge or some wisdom, you know, how to navigate this thing for 80 years. You know, and how to be enthusiastic, how to be excited, how to be involved. You know, because sometimes we, you know, as leaders or sometimes in our positions, we have a little lull. Sometimes we may feel a little burnout, or sometimes we feel like, hey, this is not the day, or this is not the week, this is not the month, this is not the year. You know, but she learns some things. I think we can get some wisdom from that if you have an opportunity. And I think your door is always open.
Always.
Door is always open. She'll be glad.
That's a wealth of knowledge that you'll be glad to share.
There it is, a wealth of knowledge that she'll be glad to share. All right. Any other observations? And we're going to start to make our transition to the next area. Yes, sir.
I just appreciate that traditionally we think of leadership from the top down, but any good leader, as you say, has to lead the leaders as well. You know, everybody in this room has probably had to do that at some point. So that's a great concept. And as a leader, people that work for me, under me, you know, I appreciate when they come up with a good idea or a good way to solve a problem or a good way to solve an issue. Hey, I'm all for it. So I appreciate it when that happens.
Oh, great. Okay, so this idea of the 360-degree leader, we can lead from any position we are on the team, and it's not always about the top down. Sometimes it can be from down up, and I hate to use top down on these, but we're all a team from anywhere on the circle. We can lead, and we can recognize that, and it's recognizing that this is one thing too, and this is a concept that, you know, sometimes people, you know, they take differently within the corporate world. I believe this: if you develop leaders, as your people get better, as they get smarter, as their performance get higher, as they are ready to promote, I believe they push you up. You know, a lot of people think, well, I'm not going to develop this person, I'm not going to teach this person, I'm not going to be as open as Judy is to give them all of my knowledge because they're going to knock me out of the job. Could that be true? It could be. But could it also be true is as they push up, they're going to push you into another position? You're going to be recognized as a leader of leaders. You develop people. And see, we're in the information age. And the person that can communicate an idea, they can take an idea from a thought and bring it and manifest it into something solid, manifest it into the procedure or the principle in a way that's meaningful, that's the person that's going to rise to the top. So if you can communicate and connect verbally or in writing, that's the person that's going to rise. So I thank you for lifting up the point that, hey, he likes to have leaders on his team. He likes to listen to people and have good ideas because I think in listening to him, it makes him better. And I can tell. All right? Anything else? All right? I think we made some great points as we go along. We want to give another opportunity to get to know each other a little bit more, and we'll do a quick activity called What's in a Name. It's called What's in a Name. Now this is the thing. You can tell us something unique about your name first, middle, sir. Did I get that right? Surname is the last name, right? Yeah, surname, or if you have a nickname, something unique about that. And that may not necessarily mean what your name means. You can share that. However, something unique about that, if you like to share. What I mean about this, and I just want to say this: what we talk about in the room stays in the room. All right? As I give you my example, I have a nickname, and my nickname is Hank. Told you that earlier, right? My nickname is Hank. Where did I get my nickname from? I was named after my beagle. When I was born in the world, we had a beagle by the name of Shank, S-H-A-N-K. And Shank and I became best friends as we grew up, because he had already been in the world 6 years, and 6 years in dog years, what, 36 years on the earth? And I was born, and as I grew up, because we stayed together so much, they had to make a differentiation. But we're going to go to call the dog, we're going to call you. So they called him Shank, and they called me Hank. That's what's in the name. I know it's kind of weird, kind of kooky. Miss, what's in the name? All right. And like to say, anything unique about their nickname, their name, how they got their name, or anything unique? What's in the name?
Yeah, I gotta do that. Okay.
All right.
My name is Liz Zena. All my friends and family call me Zena. My name came from a soap opera. I wasn't born, of course, but it was called The Nurses. I don't know who watched soap operas back then, but it was a show called The Nurses. and they had and I found that I know 3 Zenas, and all of them around my age. So the nurse on the soap opera name was Zena. So my mom got my name from the soap opera, and my aunt said, well, let's do something else with it, and they put the L-E in front of it. But everybody I know, Mom, the 3 Zenas, I know they had been watching that show, but yeah, that's where my name came from, a soap opera.
Soap opera name, all right? The Zena. It's a little different than mine, all right? Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
My mother got my name from a romance novel she was reading.
All right.
Shanna. But that was the name of the book, Shanna.
Shanna.
She actually has the book. I've read the book. I don't know that I wanted to be Shanna, but
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
pirate queen. She ended up being a pirate.
All right. So we got a nickname from an animal, we got a nickname from a soap opera, we got a nickname from, no, it's your actual name, right?
It's a real name.
Yeah, and that's your name too, Shannon, right?
That is my name.
And we got an actual name from a romance novel. All right, what's in the name? Anything unique about your name, or anything you like to lift up about your name? Where it came from, origin?
June name is June.
Gee, really? My name is June, and I was born in June. And the question is, did they name you because you were born in June? No. I really wasn't expected to be born in June, but my mother read a novel, Trail of Lonesome Pine. It goes back even older than me. And and the heroine was June. So she fell in love with that name, and here I am.
All right, got a heroine named June. Not because she was born in June. Because she was.
Huh?
Anything
All right.
special about our name?
What name?
I don't know. Last name.
Yeah.
What?
Originally, it was, let's see, it was Bridges. And somewhere along the line, a cousin got upset because he was, knocked under the wheel. So he changed the last name to Bridgers instead of Bridges, so he would be different, not associated with the rest of the family.
We hate it when that happens, right? You got kicked out the wheel, he's like, I'm just leaving, right? I'm not hanging around with this. Oh, wow, that's great.
But everybody still says Bridges, so it doesn't really matter.
No matter what it is, yeah. And one of the things I hope that you're recognizing and hoping that you're getting, we're talking about communication, we're talking about connecting, and even with our activities. You know, I've done something you haven't done, what's unique in a name. This is an opportunity for you to use these to meet someone or to get to know someone a little better. If you go up to someone, you know, perhaps in your unit, perhaps in the office, perhaps in the building, those kind of things, you don't have anything to say, well, you can tell them something unique about you or ask them something unique about them. And then you start to connect with them, and then you may find out that this person, hey, they may have a good idea, they may want to come down unit, they may got a team about those kind of things. So they're great ideas, they're fun ideas, but it's also an example of ways that we can connect. All right, we're doing great so far. I want to introduce our next segment called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, and it's principles from the book from John Maxwell that we use when we talk about really connecting. How do you connect, and how do you show the principles and really some practical things. And we're going to lift up a few things from that as we make our transition. One thing I want to leave you with leadership. Okay, with leadership. If you're taking notes, this is kind of a ABC kind of thing, and you know, if you want to put it down, one of the concepts concerning leaderships, and the reason I want to spend a little more time with this because I feel that, you know, everybody identifying with that, and we see ourselves as leaders. There's a law of leadership called the law of navigation. And if anyone has heard from John Maxwell, you know, he's written the #1 leadership book in the world, like since forever. A lot of people call it the Leadership Bible. It's called the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Heard of that? All right. And out of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, there are 21 leadership laws. And we said if you follow these laws, then those around you and those with you, they'll go along with you, and that'll make you a great leader. And out of these 21, there's a law called the law of navigation. The law of navigation. And what the law of navigation says, anyone can steer a ship, right? Anyone can steer a ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. Anyone can steer a ship, but it takes the leader to chart a course. And this is what I found out, and even I saw it again lately. Does anybody know that they're playing Titanic on cable? They're playing Titanic on cable. Has anybody taken a cruise before? Okay, on these big cruise ships. I never knew this. The captain, he doesn't steer the ship. He's always in the food area or hanging out in the concourse and all those things. And he's hanging out because he's the captain. He's done what? He's charted the course, but the lower people under him, they're the ones that steering the ship. But the ones that are steering the ship, they're not the leader. All right? So the leader, based on the law of navigation, is the one that charts the course. So as leaders, I want to give you a couple of ideas on how do you chart the course for your area, how do you chart the course for your leader, for your department. And it's based on an acronym called Plan Ahead. It's an acronym called Plan Ahead. How do you chart the course? By planning ahead. Let me give you the acronym and let me give you the terms of what we're talking about. Plan. Predetermine a course of action. Okay? Predetermine a course of action. You know, we have some policies, we have some procedures. It's some things that we automatically have to do within our areas. But there's some other things that we want to implement. Can't do those on the fly. Those are probably not the best ideas, although we may get some spontaneous things. But if you really want your unit, if you really want your organization, if you want your team to move to a certain area, you have to apply the course. All right, so you want to predetermine whatever that course of action is going to be. That's our P. Once you do that, then you have to lay out the goals. All right, got to let our team know. We have to let the people within our organization know what are the goals. What are we shooting for? What's a 10? What's a 9? What's a 8? Okay, how do we know we got there? So the L in Plan Ahead is to lay out your goals. Then as we go along, adjust your priorities as we go along. I found out that a plane, and I don't know the number of corrections it's making a minute, but a plane is never just going like this. It's constantly making corrections like every second. Anybody pilots, anybody fly, it's like it's constant all the time. We feel like it's going straight, but it's not. It's constantly making corrections, making adjustments, because what? We have to have a goal to get from Richmond to New York. And to get there, sometimes if the plane doesn't make a direction, we know New York is here, it's going this way. But it's constantly making adjustments as they go along so we can zero in to get from Richmond to New York efficiently as quick as possible. So adjust your priorities. Once you got those things in line, then this is really important. Notify the key people on your team. Okay? It's no good for you to have determined a course of action, you're laying out some goals, you're adjusting priorities, you let everyone know, but there's still some key people on your team that you may want to say, hey, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, let me give you a little more insight. Okay? Let me talk to you about this. I think you have a specialized skill in this area. I think you really can help out with these type of things. Or we want to say, pay attention to this because this is going to be important. All right? So what we're doing, we're navigating the course based on the law of navigation. That's our plan, right? Predetermine a course of action, lay out our goals, adjust our priorities, and notify key personnel. All right? Now, this is a big one coming up next when we talk about ahead. The A in ahead is this. Allow for acceptance. All right? Allow for acceptance. How many people know that every idea, even if you're the leader, if you're the team leader, that you lay out, that everyone's not going to accept? Right? We got a couple of hand raised. Everyone's not going to go for it. Everyone's not going to understand. Everyone's not going to see it. Everyone's not going to feel it. Everyone's not going to be attached to it. Now you have to understand attached to it. So you have to understand as a leader, from a leadership perspective, all right? From a leadership perspective, you're seeing things different than the members of your team, all right? You're here. All right, you're a little higher than the team. So you're seeing things that they can't see. You know things that they don't know. You have knowledge that they don't have. So sometimes if you give them a concept or give them a goal or give them some things to focus on, they're not going to accept it because they're down here and they can't see what you see. All right? So don't always expect immediate, and I like the word gentlemen use, the immediate buy-in. Okay, allow some time as you go along. So start knocking people over the head, if you will, or kind of being a little hard on people, or kind of pressing them. Allow some time for acceptance. Allow some time for some things to sink in. Allow for them to kind of understand how things are going. And then over a period of time, now we might have to stepping up a little bit if over time we can't get everybody on board. But allow some time before we kind of press a little bit. All right? But that's our A and ahead. Now, H, we're ready to go. We got everything laid out. We got our course plan. We're heading into action. We got accepted. Now it's time to go. Okay, so now it's time to go. Okay, because even with the plane, I just took a trip to India, and I noticed at certain levels we were going at certain speeds, because this was great. I'd never been on an international flight, and they had on the seat in front of you, they had a little monitor, and you could press the thing that was like shaped like an airplane. And what it does is it'll tell you how fast you're going, it'll tell you how high you are in the air, it'll tell you how far to your destination, how far away from your destination, a lot of different things about the plane. But what I noticed is on certain levels, the plane was going faster, other levels it was going slower. Okay, they're charting a course. With us, at certain times on our team, after we've planned and laid things out, when we head into action, sometimes we got to keep that course, we got to go a little faster, right? But then sometimes we have to slow down. But the key is this: we're never going to stop moving to where we go. The plane never stops in the midair, because it will drop, right? It'll fall right out of the sky. So as we go ahead, we got to move ahead, not stopping, but we may have to adjust our pace as we go along. All right? That's our H as in head into action. And this is the thing. I think you know this, and if you don't, it's a new concept, but I think everybody knows it. Expect problems. All right? Expect problems. Expect challenges. You know, we've been doing this long enough to know everything. We hope. A great leader said we always we plan for the best, expect the worst, plan for the best. One of those, whatever way it works, right? But the key is we're going to expect problems. Okay, we're going to be naive to think, hey, I've laid this thing out, it's charting the course of action, we're speeding up, we're slowing down, and everything will go straight to the goal. We're going to meet our objectives, we're going to meet our numbers, we're going to meet our statistics, and it's not going to be a problem. Stop, all right? It's not realistic. And the reason I say that, so if you expect the problems, then you don't get a headache when the problems come up. You just know, hey, some things are going good for a couple months, that's fine. I'm hoping things keep going good for the next couple months, but if they don't, I'm all right. I'm not in shock. I'm not freaked out. All right? Okay, from the standpoint of navigation, we are charting the course, but who's going to steer the ship? The other team members. All right? So that's our E as in the head. Now, always point to success. Always point to success. This is the key. Sometimes as managers and even as individuals, we point and spend more time on the negative than we do on the positive. Keep looking straight ahead. All right? Okay? And it's easy to do that sometimes, to just, oh man, you said you just didn't do good today, Bill. And this is the third time you just didn't do good, Bill. You know, and then next month, you just didn't do good, Bill. But it's been 6 months. Bill had to do one thing good in 6 months, right?
Yeah.
All right? So give Bill some encouragement. Let Bill know at least, hey, you may have some challenges, but you did this good, Bill. Okay, encourage him and push him forward. Give him some knowledge. Give him the benefit of doubt sometimes. So always push towards success. Always continue towards the goal. And then all the time, immediately too. And it's going to be hard for managers sometimes. It's going to be hard. I know we're in the corporate world. I know we're responsible for certain things. But sometimes you might just have to overlook some things. Now, are we going to address them? Yes. But always immediate in your face is not the way to go. All right? So sometimes, Bill, you got a problem, and I know Bill got a problem, and this problem that Bill is having is giving me a headache, but we're going to work through it a little bit, and then if I can find success, if I can find something that's Bill doing great, we can deal with that, and then we can work on the other aspect of it, all right? And what I like to say sometimes is focus on what's strong, not what's wrong. People can receive that. They like for you to acknowledge at least I did do one thing well. Okay, and what we're doing is we're continuing to point them to success. As we do these things, we as the leaders, we as the managers, no matter where we are, we have to review our plan daily. We have to review it. Because as we talk about that plane making the adjustments, the plane is making the adjustments, right? Who's with me? The plane is making the adjustments, but we have what? We have a pilot. And you've heard the stories about the pilots going to sleep. right? Those planes end up anywhere. Unfortunately, sometimes they crash. So even though the plane is doing certain things, the pilot still has to review the knobs, the navigation equipment, all of those things to make sure that we're still going toward success. So always do a daily review, or at least a weekly review or monthly review, if you will. Have a review time of the plan. And then we'll get from where we are to where we need to be. All right? The law of navigation. Plan ahead is the acronym, and we have the different areas under that. All right? And the last part of what that is, always have a daily review plan. Always have a daily review plan. And daily can mean weekly, monthly, quarterly. The key is you got to review it. You got to review it to see where we're going. All right? Is that good? Okay, so we're going to end up our leadership part, but all of these concepts kind of tie together with leadership, with connecting, with customer service. Then we're going to lift up a few things. We've got a couple more minutes to really bring in connecting and how it definitely relates to you. Connecting, principle number one, connecting is influence. This is what Jay Hall, he's one of our top thought leaders in the world of personal development. He did a survey of 16,000. Is that a big sample? 16,000 exactly, that's what they say. It's direct, not an indirect, not sometimes. It's a direct correlation between your achievement and the ability to what? To care for your people and to connect with them. If you want to care and connect for your people, there's a correlation with that, between that and achievement. And achievement means what? We got some numbers we got to make, right? We got some goals we got to keep, and we got to achieve. We got some things we got to get to based on in our position, but we also have some other things. So if we want to achieve those things, if we want to go to the next level with those things, then we got to do what? Got to connect and care about our people. Okay, and sometimes, and this is what, even though we're in a corporate America, sometimes a term like caring, it's like, yeah, I got to care about them. Yeah, you do. All right. Got to care about them. Got to show some warms and fuzzies sometimes. Okay, and make the adjustments. What's your name, sir?
Jeff.
Make adjustments like Jeff said. And I heard it, and I'm glad that he self-evaluates himself sometimes. He said, I can be a little high strong, I can be a little present, but I know I need to bring it back, and I bring it back. All right, that's showing some caring. And he said if he can get work through some things with some people on one or two things and it's 5 things, he believes, and I know he not only he believes, he knows, then it makes it easier for the other 3 things to get done. Because he's caring about his people and he's connecting with his people. And that does what? Give us influence. We're leaders. Leadership is influence, nothing more is nothing less. Number 1 criteria for advancement. Who wants to go higher? Who wants to be promoted? The ability to communicate. All right, and communication, and this is a thing too, a myth about communication. Communication is always not about writing. It's not about writing things down. It's not always about speaking. It's about, what's your name?
Melvin.
I think Melvin said it's about getting there, putting on those boots and do it yourself. That's communication. All right, get in there, putting on those boots, do it yourself. And one thing, and this is the thing, one thing about doing it yourself. If you don't never do a job, you don't know what it takes to do the job. So when your employees or the person up under you come to you sometimes and say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. And you say, yes, you can. Guess what? People say what?
What?
They're right. They can't do it the way you say do it if you've never done it. So sometimes you got to put on those boots. You got to get in there, do the job. I'm not saying do it for 6 months. Feel what it feels like, see what it sees. You see like what it looks like for success. Now you can guide that employee, and sometimes you get on the same page. All right. Influence. Let me tell you how you know you're connecting with people. All right? When people, your employees, they go the extra mile for you, you're connecting. They ain't trying to do anything. They're looking at you like this. The arms folded. You're not connecting. You're not doing anything. Look for these signals. If you don't see the signals, make a shift. Make an adjustment so you can connect, because we got some goals, got some achievement. We got to get somewhere. Name of the game is results, right? So we're trying to do connecting signals, unsolicited appreciation. People say positive things. If all you hear is negative stuff on your team, there's room for improvement, right? Yes. All right. If you just hear negative, and this is what I want you to do. Go inside sometimes. It's not always true. We know this. People on the team, they always tell the truth. Yes. All right. People are self-serving. Let me just throw that out there. All right. Okay. You can't be naive. But sometimes it is. All right? So they say negative things, evaluate it, and see how we can turn some of those negatives into positive. If we're hearing positive things, then we know we're connecting, then we know we're moving towards our goals. We know we are moving where we need to go. The third thing, unguided openness, people demonstrate trust. All right? People demonstrate trust. If they come into you and they're telling you some things, keep their trust. Okay, if they're being open with you, keep their trust. Don't be scared. Okay, oh God, they told me something personal. Oh, they told me this, that. They're connecting with you because they trust you. Take that as a sign of, okay, we can do some things together. Our team is getting better. I'm getting a better relationship with this individual. And that trust can move from one area to another. Because if they can trust you with some things, then if you tell them to do something they don't understand, they will probably do it. Because why? Because they trust you. You've connected. Now you have the ability to exert your influence to move towards the goal. Connecting signals. Increased communication. People express themselves more ready. More ready. If you start out at the beginning of the year and you don't hear a lot of chatter from your unit, but then in 3 months you hear some chatter, you're going the right way. Because then they decide to talk to each other and they're trying to talk to you. But from the beginning of the year and you're into a quarter and you're having a meeting and you don't hear anything, you need to get back on track. You need to make some adjustments. Because they're not doing the first 3. They're going extra mile. They're not saying positive things. There's no trust there. And they're not expressing themselves. Look for the connecting signals. And if they're not there, do what you need to do to reverse it. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Enjoy. People feel good about what they're doing. You got happy-go-lucky people. You go in there, they're whistling, "Don't worry, be happy." All right? They're whistling, they're doing a happy song. Things are going the right way. Hear good music. If you come by the desk and you hear music, "I hate my balls, I hate my balls, I hate this place." You got a problem, right? All right? Pay attention to the music sometimes. It'll tell you some things. All right? So people feel good about what they're doing and enjoying their experience at the water cooler, if you will. They're talking about great things, they're laughing, having a good time. If they're not, try to find out what's going on and make the adjustment. Emotional bonding, people display a connection on an emotional level. That goes along with the trust. Okay? We're not robots. We're not robots, we have an emotion. Emotion, a lot of times, is left out of the job. I don't need to like you to get the job done. That's true, right? Is that true? I don't need to like you to get the job done. But what if I like you? Can we really get the job done? So kind of think of things sometimes a little differently. I agree. I don't have to like you to get the job done, but if I like you, we really can get the job done and more. Achievement. We can get to that goal faster. We can get to our destination faster. We can get there if we have some type of emotional connection. And it's energy. Energy. If you feel the energy from the unit, if you feel the energy from the individuals, if you're feeling it, every time you see them, they're enthusiastic, they're talking to you, they're grabbing your arm, those kind of things, that's a signal that you've connected and you can do what? The principle is what? We're going to exert the influence to move towards the goal. The name of the game is results. Use that energy. Give them something to do. People want to do things. We're being natural beings. We want to grow. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that, but we're just not. And if we're not growing, we're dying. Who has a yard? The grass either what? Either grows or it dies. It doesn't stay the same. In nature, in life, human beings, we want to grow. And if if they come to you for something and you can't give them something to do, and they continue to grow, so while they're working on that, then you can start something else. Because we've connected on the other level. Their batteries are charged. They're ready to go. We got some ideas. Don't always shoot the ideas down. Take the idea under advisement. Say, hey, let's talk about it further at another time. Say, hey, let's see how we can fit this in. I think a gentleman said, yeah, we're giving some autonomy, but we're in the policies and the procedures of the things that we want to do because we're exerting influence to get to our goal. People's effectiveness is greater than the sum of contributions. We're growing now. We're synergistic. My team is working. I can now do what? I can take a day off. Is that a good thing? It's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. Because if we be honest with ourselves, a lot of times we're scared to take the day off. And I hope I can say this because we don't know what the hell is going to happen if we take the day off. That's not like our fault. Right? But if we work through these connections and we get through these particular areas and we see the thing, then we can take the day off and know there's going to be a job for me there when I get back. That's a good thing, right? All right? So, we want to grow together. And the last time, and this is one, and I know it's when a corporate environment, it sounds kind of strange, it sounds kind of funny, unconditional love, people are accepting without reservation. It don't necessarily have to be love, if you will, but people are accepting the, hey, we talk about these leadership styles. We're all different. We come from a different frame of reference, but we have the same goal. And we're going to accept the differences. We're going to accept from the frame of reference where we are. We're going to care about you as an individual. We're going to care about you as my team. We're going to care about you as a person, because the name of the game is results for all of us. And as we all go higher, as we all go towards our goals, as we all get lifted, then we're all going together. It's called teamwork, right? People are accepting without reservation. And that's because we've gotten through these other connecting principles. Now remember, I told you we're looking from the what? From the lens of leadership. So we're the leaders, we're recognizing these principles, and now we can do what? We can exert the influence that we need in order to get there. Good stuff? All right, that's our connecting principle, influence. This is what people want to know. Do you care for me? Can you help me? Can I trust you? That's what they want to know. In or off the job. In or off the job. That's what they want to know. Do you care for me? Can you help me? Can I trust you? If they ask all three, you can get them to do what they need to do. If there's a problem in the area, you can work on it. And see, I hope you're understanding now, you're not stuck in a box if one of the connecting principles don't work or you can't answer one of these questions. We're always evolving. We're always changing. We talked about innovation from the management style. We can innovate. We can work some different things. We can always change. We're not static. So even if we're like, oh man, I don't know if they feel these three, what can I do to do these things? And my thing is this, can I give you a secret? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Ask them. Can I help you? They're probably waiting to hear that. I've been here 6 months. He never asked you, could he help me? And think to yourself, have you ever asked any of your team people, can you help them? Can they trust you? Ask them. Do you trust me? They probably say, all right, and that's better than no. Then in 3 months, I asked, do you trust me? Yeah, in these things, because you helped me with this area, you showed you care about me, and I think we can do some stuff. Now we connect. Now we move toward with our goals. Now we're exerting our influence. Communication, action, something we do. What did people see? We put on these boots again. Got these boots in there, we're doing it. They want to see you doing something. What do you think? What do people understand? And this sometimes we miss. And I call this, I forgot where I got this concept from. I think it's from a marketing book, but it's called the curse of knowledge. Be careful, managers, about the curse of knowledge. And what the curse of knowledge says is this. You may have been doing this job for 5, for 10, for 15, for 20 years. You can do it in your sleep, as they say, with your eyes closed. But the person that's coming in for the first year, sucking your 3rd year, they don't know what in the world they're doing. So you may have to slow down a little bit and give them more instructions, because the way your mind is working, like, it's simple to me. I don't understand why they don't get it. It's the curse of knowledge. And you don't mean it. You're not trying to be deceptive, or you're not trying to hide the ball, or you're not trying to tell them certain things. That's what they think. Is that if the way your mind is wired and the way your mind works is that I got this. It's automatic. I can't see why they can't get it. Step back. Do some reflection. I've been doing it 10 years. They've been doing it 10 days. Let me slow down a little bit. Find out what they're talking about, how they understand. And then within that, we're going to find out how they feel. Okay? That's our communication there. And if you can't remember all of those, always remember. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We do it the other way sometimes. We want them to understand us first. But we're the managers. We have to understand them, because we're what? We're navigating. We're charting the course. They're going to have to be the one to steer the ship. And sometimes that's a little mindset shift. Okay, I'm the manager and you need to do what I say and say as I do and handle these things. You don't understand. Find out way out, how this communication, how this connect. Try to understand them. And even with that understanding, when a person speaks to you, try to speak back to them in the same terms. We'll call it mirroring. All right, the things they say, the things they do, because they understand those terms. Because the terminology and the way you express things, they may not understand them. So if you express it that way, now you have some common ground, now you have some things, now you can give them maybe something a little more complex. Okay? So that's just a little nugget there. We're talking about communication. All right, we got these principles. How do we do it? We already got them. We talked about common ground. Here we go. Barriers to find a common ground. You assuming, as we make this bridge, that the person already knows the things that they should know. By making that assumption, right, that's a barrier to communication because they don't. Remember I told you, a lot of things, sometimes when something is true, but also the opposite is true. All right? So the assumption that they know, the opposite probably is, hey, they don't know. Right? And that's a barrier. You assume that they know. And then sometimes, just don't be, you know, hey, we manage it, right? We're the supervisor. I'm the boss. I'm the boss, right? I'm the man. I've been doing this. So I don't have to worry about what you think. I don't worry about how you feel. I don't worry about how you care. Just get it done. Nothing's happening. Because you're arrogant. Because you're arrogant and people recognize that. Remember I told you got to connect sometimes on an emotional level? Well, I mean, arrogance gets you nowhere. It makes you feel good. But somebody got to do the work. Somebody got to steer the ship. So sometimes, you know, step down a little bit and be a little more humble in our approach, the way we do things, the way we approach, the way we carry ourselves. Because that's a barrier, your arrogance, to communication. And control. I like a gentleman. He said he liked people have, what was your name?
Rob.
Rob, he liked people to come up with good ideas. He liked people to do the, look, he likes people to do the work. That's a good thing, right? Rob is going to let his people do some things. We say back there within the policy and procedure to have some autonomy. You don't have to control everything. Now let me step forward. You can't let them do anything. All right? You don't run that crazy. Understand that. But test them a little bit. Just don't give them everything. Over time, give them a little bit more. Give them a little bit more. Give them a little bit more. Release some things off of you. Then you can relax a little bit. All right? Take some time off. And indifference. Just don't not care. Just don't not care. I got mine. My reviews are good. I'm doing great. Even though the team numbers are not all that this particular person, I don't care. It's not don't be indifferent. Care about people. Be invested in their success. Be invested in the things that are going to help them. Don't be indifferent. They have to look even within the goals and even within the things that we have, policy and the procedures and the numbers and all of those things, there's still some things where this individual can thrive. And there's some things they want to accomplish. Don't be indifferent to that. Because if you're indifferent to that, that's going to stagnate them. And if they can move, they can feel fulfilled. They can feel like they'll go within whatever little goal, whatever little, I won't say little, within their personal goal, whatever their take them fulfillment, then it's going to help. Don't be indifferent to that. Even within the corporate environment. You know, these terms back from the 80s and 90s, dog eat dog world. You got to get yours, I got to get mine, all those things. We're in a different time now. We're in a communication age. We're in the age of information. We're in the age of connection. So if you haven't made the shift, let's make it today. All right? Make it to this empathetic approach sometime. Putting yourself in a position of the other person, because it's going to do what? It's going to push us towards our results. How you find common ground? Make yourself available. June, open door policy. Don't have to be open door all the time. Make yourself available. Listen. All right? Listen to what I've already said. Ask questions, because we even have a whole concept is that great leaders ask good questions. Not only should you ask questions, but take the questions. All right? We're talking about finding common ground. Be thoughtful. Be thoughtful. And to me, thoughtfulness is this. Get to work a little early sometimes, stay a little late sometimes, and just think about what went on between me and my group. What went on between me and my team? What's going on? What's happening? How does that relate to the whole picture? Because if you never take the time to think about things and reflect, you're going to miss some things. So be thoughtful when we're going along. Be open, and can you be likable? Can anyone be likable? I know some people probably think they can't, but you can. You can. Just be open. Just model people that are likable. That person is always somebody in the office, always somebody around, that a lot of people are around all the time. You know? They always talking to everybody. That person talks to everyone. Watch them. What are they doing? What makes them likable? What makes them people? What makes people drawn to them? And just like we can use different things from our management style, we can use things from people's personality to become more likable, to make that connection. This is how we connect. We got the principles. How do we do it? Be available, ask questions, be open, listen, be thoughtful, and likable. Where's my likable people? Okay, I got about 3 likable people. Okay, we got some work to do, right? All right, we'll get there. We'll come back next year, hoping we can get at least 5 maybe, right? 5 more likable people. Be humble, be dapper. We talk about that. And this is another thing again. Keep it simple. This is why I like, can I tell you something I like about this group? This group likes to have fun. They like humor. Just don't leave it with us. Take it back with you. You know, I'm gonna save some. I'm not gonna take all the humor today. We want to save some of this humor. We want to save some of this thing and take it back to our unit. Take it back to our team. Take it back to your customer service. Take it back to members services. Take it back to the different areas. Take some of this stuff back. It's going to help us move forward. Keep it simple when you're talking to people. Get to the point. Get to the point. General counsel. Don't be like the general counsel. I'm just pointing to you because they got general counsel. You know, lawyers, counsel, they used to use a lot of words. How do you get across the street? Get in the car and drive. Ask the lawyer, how do you get across the street? Well, you have to get in the car, you have to turn it on, you have to read the manual, you have to read the manual, you have to look at your... No. Get to the point. People want to say get to the point. And then after you got to the point, guess what you got to do? You got to say it over and over and over and over again. And sometimes not because people are ignorant, not because people are dumb, not people don't understand, because repetition is the best teacher. Get to the point, say it over, and then be clear. Be clear. And how you be clear? Ask the person, do you understand? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing? Do you get it? Do you got it? Do you have it? Whatever way you want to say it. And then when they have it, then move on. Don't let them leave your presence with them having questions about what's supposed to be done, or where we go from here, or what's the goal. This is how we do it. Had the principles, this is how we do it. Inspiring people. I want to spend a lot of time because I want to be conscious of your time. But when we talk about inspiration, what people know plus what they see, what they feel, that's the inspirational key right there. Because remember earlier when I talked about connecting, we had to find Brittany, we had to find people in the customer service arena. What do you know? What do you see? What do you feel? And I can inspire you. How do we do it? This is how we do it. We got the principles. This is how we do it. This is what we look for. These are things we think about. This is our mindset. Make sense? Hey, who is that? This is me, and this is one of my mentors, John Maxwell. If you didn't know who he was, I'm a member of the John Maxwell team. I had an opportunity to go spend some time with him. And when I couldn't leave without this concept of connecting, how do you connect with people? This gentleman here, he's the #1 leadership guru in the world. And when we went to our certification, and this is the point, to see him, we had 1,500 people. 1,500 people. You know what he did to make sure he connect with everyone? He got in the line and he stood there till all 1,500 people took a picture with him. How long do you think that took? A day and a half. He just kept doing it over and over and over again because he wanted to make the connection to us, wanted to make the personal connection to connect with us. And it took effort, and it took time, and it took for him to get out of his comfort zone, and it took time for him to look at us and not look at himself, and it took time to suspend his goals and see what was important for us. All the things he taught, all the things I'm teaching you, he illustrated it through this picture. That's what we're talking about. Making the extra effort, going the extra mile. And as great leaders, just like he did, I think we can all do it. How we doing? You doing good? I'm done. I'm done. I want to end on a high note. Remember I told you that you got to always match the state of the individual? I want to end on a high note. This gentleman here, He was so thoughtful about you all. He was so excited about giving you the best that he could give you. He made sure that he purchased a copy, I need my helper. He purchased a copy of my book called The 7 Winning Ways to Your Personal Success for every one of you. So every one of you is going to get this gift as we leave today. And it's going to tell you some of the things that we talked about, but it's also going to help you solidify your personal plan. He's gone, but when he comes back, we got to give him a round of applause. It's called The 7 Winning Ways to Your Personal Success. And I titled it From Worry to Winning. Because we as managers and we as leaders sometimes, we worry about certain things. It's on our minds, we're disturbed. But how do we get from that worry? How do we get to that winning? This is going to give you a step-by-step blueprint on how to do that. And Mr. Garland wanted each one of you to have that as a takeaway. Is this good? Did everyone get one? Okay, I think we got just enough for everyone. Did everyone get one? Okay. And as we end on a high note, I think we'll get ready to take a break. The last thing I would ask is, I have a feedback survey. If you don't mind completing a survey so I can see how well I served you or how I can improve, I'll take those when we're done. And then when you're done, I think we're going to take another 10-minute break. I'm going to be out of your way, and then we're going to get to some specific business for the rest of the afternoon. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I appreciate the engagement. And I can say this. My rule has been followed. I'm going to be better when I leave the door than when I came in. And I want to thank you. Hey everybody, this is Dwayne Bennett, certified coach, trainer, and speaker with the John Maxwell Company. I just had the opportunity to spend some time with about 50 of the leaders of the Richmond Police Department, the Fire Department, Credit Union. We had a great time this morning. We talked about leadership, taking leadership to the next level. We talked about communication. Everyone communicates, few connect. We talked about customer service, and everyone left better than when we came in. Have a great day. This is Dwayne Bennett.